Newlywed's body found buried in deep hole dug on beach. Digging holes in the sand is just part of a day at the beach, but for a 30-year-old newlywed on vacation, a deep hole in the dark quickly became her grave. In Ocean City, Maryland, posted beach regulations stipulate holes must not be dug more than knee-deep of the smallest person in the group. Authorities aren't sure who's responsible for digging the hole and carelessly leaving it behind, but tourist Ashley O'Connor somehow found herself in it. She was last spotted on the beach sometime after 2 a.m. on July 31st. Holes dug in the sand can quickly cave in and collapse, burying unsuspecting victims under the pressure within seconds. The next morning, around 6:30 a.m., beachgoers spotted a limp arm sticking out of the sand. It was Ashley's. Currently, investigators do not suspect any foul play. CBS News reports that globally, 31 people have died from similar sand traps over the past decade.
Don't let YouTube ad bots dictate what TomoNews reports. Support us at patreon.com/TomoNews.
A day at the beach can go really right or dead wrong.
California man buried alive after sand hole collapse. Family and friends are turning to Facebook to mourn the death of 26-year-old Adam Pye. Pye spent most of the day Monday at the Francis State Beach in Half Moon Bay, hanging out with friends. Together, they dug a 10-foot deep hole in the sand. Shortly after 5:30 p.m., the sand hole collapsed. Within seconds, Pye was completely covered, buried alive. Around 30 beachgoers began rescue efforts, digging using their hands and buckets. It took them around 5 minutes to free his head. Paramedics moved in, but Pye was unresponsive. Paramedics managed to open Pye's airway while rescuers used shovels and other equipment to free his body. Rescuers worked to revive Pye, but sadly he died at the scene. Man suffocates to death in beach sand tunnel. A summer vacation isn't complete without a trip to the beach. Swimming, building sandcastles, but for one Virginia man, digging in the sand turned deadly. 49-year-old David Frazier was vacationing in the Outer Banks of North Carolina with his family. He spent quite some time digging 2 giant 6-foot deep holes in the sand. Frazier climbed into one of the holes attempting to connect them through an underground tunnel. But as the sand began to dry, it became loose, causing the tunnel to collapse, burying him alive. It took beachgoers nearly 15 minutes before they were finally able to dig him out. A nurse who was on the beach at the time tried to revive him, but sadly Frazier died at the scene. 10 years ago, a similar incident occurred at a nearby beach. Park officials offer this warning to vacationers: don't dig holes that are deeper than your knees.
Mutilated body parts discovered near Rio 2016 volleyball venue. TomoNews previously and jokingly warned that Olympians swimming at Rio de Janeiro's lovely beaches would probably end up as corpses. Well, that hasn't quite come to pass. But just this week, mutilated body parts washed up on the city's Copacabana beach. Talk about deadly waters, eh? The body parts came ashore close to the new Olympic volleyball venue, and according to reports, cops have only covered them with a black tarp. Aren't they supposed to remove such, pieces of evidence? Well, yeah, but maybe they're still just investigating. A lot of Brazilian cops aren't getting paid right now, so we honestly can't blame them that much for taking a bit of a meh approach to policing. Let's just hope the body parts are gone in time for the August Games, as they would create quite a stench if they're just left to bake under the Brazilian sun. But hey, this is Rio 2016, so we're not holding our breath. Hey Tomo Sapiens, help us beat the ad bots by joining our Patreon News Squad at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Another abandoned baby is found in Australia, buried on a beach in Sydney. A baby was found buried in the sand at Sydney's Maroubra Beach on Sunday by 2 boys who were digging in the sand. Police said the body was that of a very small infant and was buried under 30 centimeters of sand. Authorities added that they could not immediately determine the age or sex of the baby. The section of the beach where the baby was found was taped off, and police excavated the surrounding area for forensics. The police are urging the mother of the child to come forward. The discovery of the child comes a week after another newborn was found alive in a Sydney drain after being left there for 5 days.